Have you ever felt that persistent discomfort, that tightness that seems to suffocate your chest and steal the tranquility from your days? Now imagine a person who constantly lodges in your thoughts, but who, paradoxically, seems shrouded in layers of mystery, as if covered by veils that prevent any clarity. What you may not have realized is that this person is also frequently thinking about you, perhaps even more than you might imagine. This thought can bring both a sense of connection and uncertainty, because while you are lost in reflections about this person, they may be doing the same. This cycle of mutual thoughts can be as intriguing as it is frustrating, creating an invisible bond that connects you, even amidst so many mysteries. It is a game of emotional mirrors, where each reflection reveals a bit more about the feelings and complexities of this unexpected connection. There are hidden forces at work, things that they might resist seeing or cannot clearly discern. Today, the angels are ready to deliver a crucial message about this bond. Stay with me until the end, and if you're not yet subscribed, subscribe now, because what is about to be revealed may turn your world upside down. Have you ever stopped to think about the whirlwind that invades their mind when you appear? Sometimes the air fills with a tumultuous mix of emotions, an emotional enigma that defies clarity. They respond with overwhelming intensity, and you might not immediately grasp what is happening, but the raw truth is that they sense something tremendously powerful between you, a connection that defies logic and the visible. She may never realize it, or perhaps she keeps it as a dark secret, inaccessible even to herself, but she might be the true sculptor of the vast distance that now coldly separates you both. She, inadvertently or not, has become the demolisher of what once sparkled with the promise of something profoundly special and enduring between you. It is intriguing to observe her, navigating a sea of confusion, floating in a limbo of misunderstanding, perplexed by the turmoil she herself might have triggered. At the core of her being, a storm hides, a fierce and ongoing struggle. She battles with the intensity of the connection you both share, a bond that should be her anchor, but paradoxically seems to act like a chain, dragging her into unknown waters. A part of her, perhaps the most vulnerable, resists desperately, fearing to submerge into the depths of that emotional current that threatens to both consume and complete her. This internal resistance creates a dynamic of repulsion and attraction, a continuous cycle that complicates the feelings that should be simple and pure. Consider now this peculiarly intriguing aspect. No matter how distant you are, physically separated by cities, countries, or continents, the connection between you seems to ignore the limits of physical space, even reduced to mere bytes and digital signals. Whether through a text message that appears on your screen, a distant voice on the phone, or a glimpse of her in a video call, the energy that surrounds you both resurfaces with surprising force. Within her, this energy provokes a palpable transformation. A whirlwind of emotions emerges, pushing her to respond almost instinctively, without the deliberation that would normally precede her actions. She feels, in her essence, something changing, a profound and elusive shift that defies explanation. It is a deep and ineffable sensation, a kind of internal displacement that occurs even in the absence of words or direct encounters. The words to describe this phenomenon are elusive, and she often finds herself searching for terms that simply do not exist in her vocabulary, leaving her with a sense of restlessness and, paradoxically, an almost desperate need to express the inexplicable. This unbidden and powerful emotional flow is both a blessing and a burden, fueling the complexity of her feelings and actions, creating a scenario where each digital interaction is loaded with hidden meanings and potential revelations. The way you infiltrate her existence despite the physical distance triggers a profoundly touching effect, reaching the darkest corners of her heart. This phenomenon is complex, almost mystical, to the point of defying the clarity of words, and perhaps even escaping her own full understanding. The impact you have on her is tangible, almost physical, as if each of your thoughts transmits waves that disturb her emotional equilibrium. Within her, you activate a hurricane of emotions, a storm that rises with tornado-like force, pulling her towards you with a magnetic, irresistible strength. At the same time, there is a retreat, a hesitation. She withdraws, perhaps to protect something within herself that is deeply valuable and vulnerable. This emotional ebb and flow is a game of attraction and repulsion that dances to the rhythm of your invisible bonds, a ballet of feelings that simultaneously seduces and intimidates her. Each interaction between you reverberates through her like an echo in a valley, resonating with an intensity that is both frightening and deeply desired. You've already caught a glimpse of her luminous side, that facet that shines intensely, radiant with happiness and security when she's by your side. This portion of her essence that smiles freely, that fully embraces your ideas, that finds a safe haven in your presence. This is the part of her you know well. It's an aspect of her that seems to flourish under your attention, blossoming like a flower under the spring sun. However, there exists another layer, darker and more complex, a facet she carefully keeps in the shadows of her being. It's not that she wishes to keep a distance from you, but the overwhelming intensity with which you enter her life leaves her feeling burdened. She often finds herself overwhelmed, trying to navigate an ocean of emotions that you awaken in her, an emotional weight so dense that it sometimes becomes difficult to manage. This more guarded side carries insecurities and fears, regrets and unexpressed desires, all lurking beneath the surface of her polished presentation. It's a side that, though hidden, yearns for understanding, for being known and accepted with the same intensity with which you embrace her joy and radiance. The intensity with which you affect her is something she can't fully articulate, but has deeply touched her, provoking an unexpected and possibly unwanted response. It was this same intensity that led her to distance herself in an attempt to free herself from this overwhelming feeling that she found difficult to handle. Currently, the circumstances have transformed. She begins to question the reason behind this distance, which was ultimately her choice. Doubts start to haunt her, provoking reflections on what actually transpired. Why did she feel the need to distance herself? What in you triggered such an intense reaction? These questions persist in her mind, as clear answers remain elusive. She is going through a deeply turbulent period, a phase in which it seems like all the elements of her life are in blatant disarray. And you, often without being fully aware of it, acted as the catalyst for these changes. Your energy and presence awakened aspects of her that had been deliberately ignored, feelings and truths she tried to suppress, but which now emerge with overwhelming insistence. It's as if a part of her, previously hidden under layers of self-control and reserve, is now being exposed to the light of day, a revelation she cannot easily control or ignore. The connection between you, which once flowed in a light and uncomplicated manner, now carries a different weight, as if something invisible had diverted the trajectory of your relationship. This change can be attributed, perhaps, to your deep spiritual sensitivity, which inadvertently influences the dynamic between you two. You, with your striking and intense presence, seem to have touched something fundamental and perhaps painfully necessary within her. Thus, what was once a smooth flow now becomes a course of deeper and more turbulent waters, where each interaction carries deeper meanings and more significant consequences, challenging her to face what has been awakened, whether to integrate these discoveries into her being or to confront them in some way. This person, even while being distant, has noticed a significant shift in your energy. She has observed that you are no longer who you were before, that something in you has transformed profoundly. This change, far from being ignored, has affected her in a way she cannot overlook. Suddenly, she has become more aware of the value you represent in her life. Deep down, she tries to unravel what caused this drastic change. She questions if her own actions may have contributed to the distance they now feel. Perhaps she reacted impulsively, and now, with the distance, she begins to understand the true impact of her choices. This distancing was not just physical, but also energetic, causing her to revisit moments where she may not have valued the connection between you appropriately. Regret is taking hold of her. She feels the separation intensely and questions if there is still time to fix the mistakes made. However, this introspection is not confined to the past. She also contemplates the present and this new energy that permeates between you, wondering what it might mean for the future. You, with your enigmatic presence and intense energy, have become a puzzle she is desperately trying to solve. Suddenly she realized that there are layers to you that were never truly touched. This new vision of who you are is challenging her to question everything with more fervor than ever before. If this resonates with you, know that this person is in agony, even if silently. She may not have shown it, but the transformation in your energy has deeply touched her. It is this mysterious force that you radiate that makes her ponder what really happened between you. She is embarking on a journey of self-discovery, and you play an essential role in this process. From the beginning, deep down, you knew that this distancing was inevitable. It wasn't a matter of choice, but a necessity imposed by life on both of you. This perception didn't emerge by chance. You had a clarity of vision that transcends the ordinary, a keen sensitivity to grasp what truly matters. The connection you had was never shallow. While others got lost in superficialities, you remained focused on what is genuine, the essence, the true nature of the person with whom you shared a deep bond. Now, with a clarity previously unknown to her, she begins to see reality unfold before her eyes. She is starting to realize that your words and actions, every moment you shared together, carried a deeper purpose that she might not have fully understood at the time. As time passes, she is understanding that everything you did was grounded in a deeper truth, a clarity rarely found. It seems that, finally, the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place, revealing the true value of what you represented to her. Each conversation, each encounter that might have seemed simple or uncomplicated before, now resonates with deeper meanings. This new perception is not just an acknowledgement of the facts as they are, but an appreciation of the layers of meaning that were interwoven into your interactions. She is beginning to see, perhaps with a mix of admiration and awe, the role you played in her personal journey, a role that goes beyond the superficial, touching and transforming the core of who she is. From the beginning, you elevated her to a special level in your life. It wasn't just a common connection, but something that went beyond the usual, something you recognized as rare and precious. At that time, she wasn't ready to understand or value that depth. Perhaps she didn't have the ability to perceive the true depth of that connection, or maybe she was too busy trying to force you into a mold where you simply didn't fit. Not because you weren't important, but because the intensity of that connection was too much, too challenging to be quickly understood. Now, with the passage of time, she begins to feel how deeply that connection affected her. Feelings never before felt emerge, confused and intense, and she finds herself facing a dilemma. How to react to something so new and profound? The answer is not easy, but what she knows is that this connection is undeniable. There is something there that demands to be explored, understood, experienced. It's as if she is starting to accept that you have always been unique, that there was something in you that affected her in a way that no one else had managed to. The reality of this relationship and the presence you brought to her life have provoked deep questions, making her see the world in a renewed way. And now, in this process of understanding, she realizes that in some way she always knew you were different. The energy between you is so strong and magnetic that it becomes undeniable. She feels it with an overwhelming intensity, a sensation so real and palpable that it is impossible to disguise its existence. She is convinced that you share this feeling. This dominant force is driving her to be more courageous, more assertive about her feelings for you. Things are evolving quickly between you two. The time for doubts is over. She can no longer ignore the fact that you are a special presence in her life, someone who cannot be treated as a common person. What you share is unique. It is something rare. And even if you both try to hide or minimize it, deep down you both know the truth. This connection is too deep to be ignored. She feels that she can no longer simply go with the flow and leave things to chance. Now, the need to get closer, to be nearer, surpasses any fear or insecurity. She understands that it is no longer viable to treat this relationship as something casual. You stand out as someone unique, a rarity, and she is fully aware of that. For this reason, she is changing her approach. Instead of letting things simply flow, she is determined to take the initiative. The desire to be with you has evolved into an intense need, and she is more determined than ever to achieve what she wants. And what she wants is you. She sees in you a light that illuminates her most hidden and vulnerable parts, those that she often avoids confronting. Your presence challenges her, pushes her beyond what is obvious and comfortable. The connection you share is unique, transcending the banality of everyday relationships. She is aware of this, feels this, and no matter how much she tries to categorize or define it, she realizes that what you both have goes beyond what can be easily explained or reduced to simple concepts. Deep down, she knows that this cannot be classified as just friendship. It is much deeper than that. You are someone who affects her in a significant way, who stirs her interior in a way that she cannot ignore. This connection is inevitable, almost as if it were predestined. Even if you have tried to deny or rationalize your feelings, the truth is obvious. There is something exceptionally special between the two of you. At this very moment, she is consumed by thoughts about you and what you both share. She dives into reflections on the real meaning of this relationship, something that touches her deeply. She feels an urgency to understand more, to dissect every detail of this connection they maintain. Questions flow non-stop in her mind. Questions about you, about the feelings that are emerging, and about the true meaning of all of this. It's not just curiosity. It's a sincere desire to unravel the depth of this bond. She seeks answers from you. She wants to hear directly from your lips if you feel the same, if you also perceive this uncommon energy between you two, because intimately, she is certain that this is not common. It's not something that happens frequently. There is an intensity here that simply cannot be ignored, and she believes that you hold the key to elucidating all of this. She ponders how you perceive this situation, how you are processing these feelings, and what you envision for your future together. She really misses you, and not just physically. What hurts the most is the absence of what you represent in her life. It's the way you see her, how you communicate, how you touch, not just superficially, but directly in the essential. This has marked her in a way she cannot forget. She perceives the depth of your connection, understands that you are different from anyone else she has ever known. You touch her soul in a unique way, and this makes her miss not just you but the person she becomes when she is with you. She wants you to understand that you constantly occupy her thoughts. The lack of your presence is immense, and she often finds herself reminiscing about the conversations, the moments you spent together, and the looks you exchanged. Your impact on her was profound, and the energy you radiate, even from afar, makes her long to be close again. She has a myriad of questions, many aspects she wishes to understand better, and many conversations she would like to resume with you. There is something about your energy that she finds mysterious and fascinating, something that ignites in her an almost uncontrollable curiosity. She realizes that the connection between you is not ordinary, that there are depths yet to be explored, something that requires exploration. She has no interest in staying on the surface. She wants to uncover what else there might be between you and is eager to discover where this reconnection could take you. What you share is not something that can be ignored or reduced to mere friendship. The attraction, the chemistry, the intensity you both experience when you are together are clear indicators that there is something grander at play. She feels that you need to explore this together, to discover what this connection truly means. It's not just about being physically close but connecting on a deeper level. She wants to be closer to you, not just in terms of presence but emotionally and spiritually as well. The connection you share is rare, and she knows it. It is something she does not want to lose, and she is willing to see how far this can go. She believes that together you can discover something truly special and unique. She feels there is much more to be explored, and that by your side she can discover a world of new possibilities and feelings. Allow these words to penetrate deeply into your spirit and resonate within you. The universe, in its infinite wisdom and kindness, wants the best for you and ensures that regardless of the choices you make, the outcome will be positive. To internalize and claim this message and the blessings it carries, type, "I absorb, receive, and accept my destiny and everything the universe has to offer me." This action symbolizes the acceptance of the cosmic forces working in your favor. Also, leave a positive comment to encourage others who might need a boost of positivity in their days. The universe recognizes this gesture of kindness as a powerful form of mutual elevation. Together we can create waves of good energy and uplift each other. Let's share light and love and transform our surroundings with acts of generosity and hope. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, Subscribe now and stay tuned for the important message awaiting you in the next video. May God and the universe illuminate your steps with peace, love, and faith. Amen.